Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crowdsourced challenge where it's time for another wheel spin. Let's get it spinning and see what it has in store for me today. 100 chickens. Okay, that's doable. Let's hop in game and tab over to where the chickens are and get some chickens. Right, so we need more chickens. Let's do that right now. We've got, this is going to be maths. 34, 56, I'm not going to count the roosters. 6 and 9 is 17, 4 and 5 is 90, 97. There we go. That was a lot easier. It was technically 99, so we now have technically 102 if I include the roosters, but we're at 100 chickens. And already, just skipped a night, already we have a full egg box, which I'm just going to place over here somewhere. Here will do, I guess. Anyway, back to what I wanted to do today, which is... For some reason, the GPS trace has changed slightly. Oh, it's because I'm starting a GPS trace in a different place. Okay, that makes sense. Which is the canola harvest. We're basically going to continue straight on from the last stream. That is not the correct width. Okay, that would explain why the GPS trace was bad. It was set to the wrong width. And detecting off the actual trace at 9 meters. That makes more sense. So yeah, this canola is going to be for, I guess, partially the pigs, and partially the chickens. I'm also wondering why the chickens are at 96%. Probably something to do with the cleanliness, I guess? The pigs, holy cow, the pigs have been busy with manure. And slurry. 15,000 litres of slurry. And they need corn, which I have none of currently. We're actually waiting on field 19 to become extremely corny as I speak. It is on a decent growth stage, just about halfway there, I think. In fact, it is about halfway there. It's on stage 3 of growth, which means that tomorrow's video we should have some corn to be harvesting. In theory, may involve some time wibblies and me scooting over to the other field, but we should have some corn to harvest because we do need to finish off field 18 here, and I've been told Field 18 produces about 150,000 litres of canola. Also, I'm not using GPS at the moment. I'm using the trace, but I'm not using the active GPS for reasons of because. Yeah, we are nowhere near halfway done with this field. We got a lot of work to do still on Field 18. I know I said that I'd do course play on this, but I realised that if I did course play on this, I'd have to find something else to do. And I can't off the top of my head think of something else to do that we can do. Short of another Odd Jobs episode. Which I don't want to spam out the Odd Jobs episodes. They're fun and relatively easy to plan. Because it's just what random stuff needs doing on the farm. Doodle 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 doodle. But they're not really all that helpful for videos. They're not, you know, they're not going to be something that is going to be an enthralling video because it's just me running around, zipping around, doing, you know, random stuff. Which I know that I think they make for good videos because, you know, tons of different jobs getting done at once, but at the same time, there's only so many of them I can do. And with Field 18 definitely needing to get the harvest finished, probably better that I focus on this and just kind of abandon, you know, all the random jobs, you know, the pigs, I really need to move the pig manure down to the cow area, as silly as that sounds. I moved the 2,500 litres of... I think we've got more cows, you know. No, we don't. I do need to get the cows TMR. But that is something they desperately need. I need to get the pigs more corn, but I can't because I have no... Do I have any corn in storage, actually? Corn. No, 0 litres. And 106,000 litres of canola in storage. We're still waiting on, like, the miraculous great demand for oats, which would be really nice about now. Especially at Greendale. That would be, like, the ideal situation, because 1,300 base, and if there's a good multiplier on the great demand, that would be insane. Another thing that would be really nice would be a great demand on canola at also Greendale, oddly enough. You know, those two would be best case scenarios. Oats would be the absolute, like, god tier great demand. In before it happens all of a sudden, and it looks like I've cheated the great demand in. So the two great demands that I did predict, because I fast forward time did happen. Although if memory serves, one was on just something random, one was on like silage or something. But when we do get a great demand for a crop that I have, even if it's something that I'm kind of keeping aside for the animals, I will just bulk sell all of it. Using a truck and a fifth wheel trailer, just because it'll mean that I get the highest price possible. If I were to use the Brauhan, the price would start to dip in between trips, so using a truck would be, using the MAN truck or the Tatra would be the better option. Just in terms of like getting the absolute most money for the crop. It is 8 AM in game, which is a very pretty time of day. This game looks particularly pretty, like, quite early in the mornings. I guess because the sun's quite low in the sky and you get these amazing dramatic shadows going on. Like, that is a very dramatic shadows. It's kind of easing off now because as we move towards that's easing off a lot faster than maybe it should. But you get these really dramatic shadows going on, and play of light on everything is amazing. A few people have said the canola looks weird now that there's shadows on it, and I do agree. The crops do look very different with shadows available on them. But I quite like it. I quite like the shadows. Is there anything I got wrong in the previous video that I can think of off the top of my head? No, I don't think so anyway. There may well have been that I just haven't remembered yet. By the way, as always, if I get something wrong or I mess up somehow, please do remind me in the comments and let me know how I've gone wrong. If you're going to just say, oh, I don't do that in real life, that's not doing it wrong, that's you trying to push realism on me, which I strongly dislike. Plus, every farm is going to do things differently. There's as many ways to farm as there are farmers. So we're one day closer to the Anderson DLC as well. It's only just under 2 weeks away now. And looking forward to it now. Really looking forward to it. There's some really interesting stuff in it, and I'm starting to get excited for that DLC coming. I'm hoping to do some really cool stuff with it. I'm hoping to get, and I will do this once and once only. I'm hoping to buy like field 23 or something. Just a relatively small field for poplars. Maybe field 10 because it's confused as to what shape it is. But I want to get a field for poplars and put them down for the bio baler. However, I just don't I don't have enough money to buy like any field on the map currently. Like if I look it up, field 23, which is tiny, is 68 grand. It's not what I meant to do, by the way. Field 10, which is quite small as well, 76. Field 9, 68. You know, 12 is 79. 14 is 65. 95 there for 13. You'll notice I'm only looking at the really quite small fields here. You know, the BJ is an exception that it's 11.7, but I don't want to buy that right now. So, I am going to ask in the comments that you... I might put a poll on in the cards. Because I do want to use the bio baler on this map, it's just that I can't afford a field for it at the moment. I will have to cheat the bio baler in as well. And probably the poplars planter. But it is something that I would like to do when the DLC arrives. Is, yeah, get some poplars done around the map. Because that'd be, number one, fun and different. Number two, new. And number three... kind of making the most out of the new equipment. And I'm hoping the bio baler is a lot more palatable as a piece of equipment than the poplar header for the New Holland, to put it blunt, because it's just the New Holland with the poplar header to make wood chips is very, very slow. It's very slow and methodical, and it's not the most fun piece of equipment in the world. So, you know, I would like to do poplars just with a bit of equipment that is vaguely interesting, and to me the bio baler definitely is that. Especially seeing as it's 2,000 litres of bale, you know, they're much smaller than the base game bales, which is probably and potentially an issue for consoles with the bale limits. That's something that you guys on console are going to have to be aware of, is the bale limits are probably not going to change. And the bio bales, the tree bales as they're going to be called, I believe, will be counting towards that, which isn't the ideal situation for you guys. There is one minor thing that I dislike about how poplars work as well, and that's in real life I believe they can grow back. I'm probably wrong about that, actually. I'm going to take that back. They probably don't grow back in real life, and you do have to like plow the ground up and replant them, but I would imagine there's a good chance they would grow back just with nutrients stored in the root system or something. I've just realised, by the way, that very conveniently after buying the chickens we have €12,345. That's a number that I would usually cheat in as money, just as a bit of fun. I don't need that turned on, I need this turned on. I need GPS active. There we go. So, there probably won't be a stream tomorrow. And today's stream will be Flight Sim. Still haven't decided on a plane. I'm recording this at, what, 10:25 last night. Still haven't decided on a plane to use. I need to do some tests with planes that I want to use, so I'm hoping to get up early tomorrow and get that sorted. And actually I'm hoping on going live an hour earlier than usual, so for Americans at the usual time that you're kind of used to me doing it without daylight savings being in effect. I'm also kind of considering using VATSIM, but the problem is I want to do some flights on VATSIM online with ATC somewhere that's relatively quiet, and that can be difficult at times, especially on a Friday night, because that's when Friday night ops happens in the US, and that's not something I want to be getting involved in, and Europe tends to be very awake, so it's going to be something that I'll have to try and do like on a midweek afternoon or something. Just try and get in where there's maybe 3 flights heading in somewhere or heading out of somewhere even, and just get some radio time in, or find a Squawk Mode Charlie stream because I know he's pretty good with new people. He is a very good controller, so I'll have to see what I can do about getting on VATSIM for the tour, so there's actually potentially, not guaranteed, but potentially other aircraft around. There will be some legs where I will intentionally not be on VATSIM. Like the leg in between, like the flight between North and South Cyprus, that cannot be on VATSIM, because they would most likely shout at me for doing a flight that is impossible in real life. The legs within Rome, the really short flights, I'll also not be on VATSIM because they're just pointlessly short, and I'll be using meme planes for that. I have one planned, and those of you who like the joke of that Russian crop duster, the jet-powered crop duster, that's going to be used. I know of a mod for that for X-Plane. What else do I want to talk about, like, with regards to the tour? Meme legs, VATSIM plans, no VATSIM plans. Oh yeah, well, once we get to the US, and actually upcoming fairly soon, probably a week or two, there is going to be a stream where I just do one flight, because it's 2,500 kilometers. And I think the leg after it is quite long as well. That is unfortunately just going to be a single flight stream, because that flight I'm expecting to take between 2 and 3 hours on its own, depending on routing. But I will try and do that actually on VATSIM, despite the fact that very few people fly in Africa on VATSIM, mainly because very few airlines that are noteworthy or have textures available in X-Plane or in P3D or in FSX actually operate in Africa. Except TUI and like British Airways who go to Cape Town. But the middle of Africa is kind of underrepresented. But yeah, there will be a flight sim stream today. It might be at stranger hours than usual. I might try and get 3 flights in. By starting early and going late. I will be able to go for as long as I want tonight, because I'll have the house to myself, so I can go super long. I can go to like 9 o'clock or even later. It just depends on how I feel myself. I will plan on getting tomorrow's video recorded quite early in the day as well, and kind of getting that all ready to go tomorrow night. And yeah, I might even do an extra stream, depending on how things go, because I am planning on tidying my room this week and giving a full clear out. So I'm not planning a stream for tomorrow, but I am planning potentially like a late night flight sim stream on here to like get some extra miles logged in the tour, or like learn some VATSIM or something around Europe, hopefully. So I might do an airliner stream at some point over the weekend. That's not a guarantee, and you know what happens when I say I might do this stream or something. It's probably not going to happen. I do want to as well tweak the overlays for the flight sim stream. So I'll have to make a new profile in OBS to do that, but I want to tweak the overlay to have a flight sim specific one. Back to farm sim though, and one of the questions that I'm being asked quite often now is, am I going to FarmCon? I hope so. I hope to go, but financial issues are right now preventing that, as well as the fact that I am looking for work like off of YouTube. I'm looking for work in real life, so I don't want to like have a job nailed down and go in on like day 3 and be like, Oh yeah, by the way, in July I need to like have a weekend off and you know, like this many days off because I've got a trip planned to Germany to do some stuff for a video game. It's not, you know, it's not a good look if you're going into a job and say, oh yeah, I need these days off straight away. I am looking forward to seeing how the Farm Sim League works though. Like, seemingly they're not going to really announce many details of it before FarmCon, so it's going to be interesting to see how the teams at FarmCon fare with a league that, you know, an esport that none of them know what they're getting themselves into. Which is a very unique proposition. Like, usually with esports, you at least know what you're getting into with them. You know, with League of Legends, you know that it's just going to be a game of League of Legends on steroids. With Apex, it's going to be the same. I presume there's an esports league for Apex already. Overwatch League is, you know, just a game of, just several games of Overwatch, but at a very high level. StarCraft is the same. iRacing and then R-Factor and all that kind of esports, the motor racing esports, are just races, but with the really fast guys. StarCraft is just a game, you know, just a best of whatever series of StarCraft games. And fun fact, I used to take part. I used to do some StarCraft tournaments. I did take part in a few when I was playing StarCraft 2 a lot. I made it to Silver League. I know they've changed how the ladder works, which I was watching a stream recently and they changed the ladder, and I was really kind of surprised that it's very League of Legends-y. But yeah, I was like Bronze, Silver League in these tournaments and doing quite well because I just turtled the crap out of everything and then sent a death ball out at the very end of the match. Like, hey, I'm ready now. Blop. Which, if you play any strategy game, you'll know the turtling and then death ball. Turtling with the death ball transition is a really effective strategy. Especially if when your opponent harasses you, you take note of what units they're using and directly counter them. Because death ball. So how long have we been doing this episode? 20 minutes. I've mainly been talking about other games, and I do apologise if you're not interested in other games, but that's the way things go sometimes. It's interesting things of note for motorsports over the weekend. Obviously, there's the Australian Grand Prix. Tomorrow on Sunday, which is unfortunately going to be under a bit of a cloud because of the whole Charlie Whiting thing, and that is a huge loss for Formula 1. The sport's never going to be the same again. But in other sports, in other motorsports, you have two separate races, two endurance races. At Sebring, you've got the World Endurance Championships 1,000 miles, which I think is just a 6-hour race now. It was originally going to be like a 1,000-mile race distance. But I think it's a timed race now, not a distance race. And on apparently tomorrow, I somehow doubt this, but it could well be tomorrow, you have the world famous 12 Hours of Sebring in the IMSA side of things. So it's the first time in goodness knows how long that the American Endurance League, which used to be known as well, there used to be two. There used to be ALMS, American Le Mans Series, and IMSA. But there's now only one, which is just IMSA, as it's known. It's run by the same people as NASCAR, believe it or not. The International Motorsports Association. But that is... I think it's the first time in many years that IMSA and the World Endurance Championship or Sports Car Championship, or whatever it's called, after all the different rebrandings it's had over the years. First time possibly ever that they've kind of co-sanctioned races. And done what I can only describe as done a double weekend. Where you've got 2 endurance races at the highest level, because IMSA is the highest level in the US. World Endurance is just the highest level for, I guess, more European drivers. It is like a global thing, but it is kind of more Europe-centric, or rest of world-centric. So it's gonna be interesting that they can directly compare lap times around the track, and you can see just how much slower than an LMP1 car, or even an LMP2. No, they've got more power than an LMP2. How much slower or faster than an LMP1 car that the Daytona prototypes go. I mumbled to myself there because they used to be 2 LMP2i standards, which is LMP2 International, but this year or last year, at some point fairly recently, I think it was this year, they changed how Daytona prototypes work under the rules, and they've departed from LMP2i to just a Daytona prototype standard. But there's some interesting racing at the very least. And endurance racing to me is the best kind, so I'll be quite happy this weekend with racing all day and all night, probably. And Le Mans coming up in July, the end of July. But before I get too distracted by literally everything, I think I'm going to call this an episode. A bit short, but I don't want to like have you sat here while I rant about various things and just ramble endlessly. I will have a video tomorrow. Might not be able to stream because I will be basically pulling my room to shreds, and it's all going to be a mess. If I do stream, there probably won't be a webcam. I'll put it that way. Well, tomorrow. Yeah, if I do stream tomorrow, there probably won't be a webcam, because I will have lots of stuff stored on my bed, and I'll just take like a 2 or 3 hour break to record and do streams and stuff. But that is going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave your comments below, leave your likes and subscriptions as well. It looks like the really huge purge that has been going on YouTube recently, and I can only presume it was a purge, has somewhat come to an end. The channel's been very flat for subs instead of losing them, so that's nice. It's nice to be on 0 instead of -1, or -3 or 4 or 5. Didn't get off as badly as Landy. I got off a bit lighter than that because he was on like -20 some days. But yeah, it seems like YouTube has been doing some sort of weird massive purge of late of presumably like dead channels. So that's the kind of thing that's fine, but it's just demoralizing to see subs just disappearing. Especially this latest one, because it's been like every day for nearly 2 weeks. It's very hard to kind of get motivated when you know at the end of the day you're going to have less subs than when you started. It's a bit frustrating. I just want to, I know that I said I'm going to finish the episode, but I want to just kind of go off on a really quick tangent about the future of the channel. I did say, I think I addressed this in the stream, but I'm going to address this in a video just so that it's a bit clear. A couple of days ago I kind of was thinking out loud about channel scheduling going forwards. And I've kind of come to a bit of a final decision. So some exclusion may apply. Monday will be roleplay videos, once a week, 1 hour a week of roleplay. And it's going to be vastly different to the previous series because I'm going to do it very, very differently. Tuesday to Sunday will be ideally 2 different maps, alternating day by day. And they'll be like normal 25 to 30 minute episodes. I did mention sometimes there'll be 2 videos a day. They're when I want to do like another series on another game, and I do have one that I think would be particularly hilarious in mind, but would take a lot of work, so that'd be like a once a month thing probably. And yeah, like other games, like if I get sent a new Playway game, or I'm previewing something, or I just want to play some, we'll say, Rome Total War or something on the channel, in a PG manner, I won't be going full moonbow on it, that I can just do that on like random days, and just have 2 videos on those days, and the second video would be put up like while I'm streaming or after the stream or something. And the streams will just be following the same schedule, Mondays and Fridays being reserved. Mondays reserved for Flight Sim if I want to stream. Fridays reserved for Flight Sim for sure, and of course random exclusions for days that I'm away, because I want to go. I'm actually going to go to Dublin at some point later this year. To watch Detective Pikachu with my friend. So I'm looking forward to that, because I only ever seem to see my friend when we're going to the movies together. And I really want to see Detective Pikachu, because I'm really big. I used to be a really big Pokemon fan, and it looks like it's going to be a really cool movie. It's one of those few Pokemon movies that really kind of grabs your attention, because it's somewhat live-action CGI Pikachu, which is going to be interesting and slightly terrifying. But yeah, that is actually going to do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and various shill YouTube-y things that I should probably say, but I'm not going to. Buy my merch. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.